So I've noticed or remembered that there isn't any link between the lubricator drive arm and the crosshead which should drive it. I've set the wheels to forward centres, so I'm at its worst case scenario going forward. If I went further back and made the arm too long, it would hit there. So I'm going to measure between that point and that hole, make a bit of rod that joins the two together, bolt it on and see what happens. We'll see if it if it works, and B, if it jams up, if the geometry is right, and we'll see what happens. I do think at some point these nylock nuts on the rods don't really look right, and they're not really going into the nylon, so they'll probably be changed at some point for just normal nuts. So let's see what happens. And there we go, just a rough mock-up to begin with. Might want some tidying up. I was just checking to see if it was right. Now, what I thought was a roll pin in the top of the crosshead here, might have been distracted by that. It actually had a thread and a shoulder, so I had to, it was an 8BA thread on the end and a slightly larger shoulder, so I had to drill the end of the rod slightly bigger. The end of this arm had an 8BA thread in it already, so I put a bolt through with a lock nut on the back side, so that shouldn't come undone. And as you can see, I've changed these nuts for plain nuts, which look a lot nicer than the nylocks that I took off. Nylocks are fine if the bolt comes through, but they didn't really look right in this situation. So that's ready now. But I have also noticed I'd forgotten to do up the lubricator pipe, but in trying to, I've discovered that the thread's worn on the fitting on the bottom of the lubricator, or on the steam pipe, so the nut isn't starting on it. So I need to do something about that. It might mean shortening this and getting rid of the bad threads. So I've just replaced the bolts on the other side as well, and while I was doing it, I noticed this was loose. It's not just loose, it's sheared off, so that's going to need looking at. Hopefully it's just if I move this out of the way, I should be able to take out the old bit of thread and replace this, remake it, replace it. But another job for the list. A slight apology to make, I forgot to take any pictures while I was doing this, but I took the bottom part of this off. I filed down the thread until the threads were good on this part. Obviously that left me with sort of a flat face cone. So I then set it up in the drill, and I drilled a new sort of angled seat. Refitted it with some Loctite 577 thread locker and seal, and I've put it back together. We'll see when it's in steam whether that keeps steam tight. Still got to fix this, but I just thought I'd look at this. It's where this valve got taken off. It was the bypass valve, but because I've rerouted it and fed it back into the bunker tank, I thought, oh, do I need to fill this hole up? I've looked at the piece that came out. It's a quarter 40 thread, so I could make a plug that goes in this, or I might do something to hide the hole. But on the inside of the tank from here, it runs up to the telltale just underneath the filler. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if I didn't put anything in there for the time being, because it would only it would only start to dribble water when the water was up to the top level of the tank. So we'll have a think and see what I do.